Hey, so if you believe that your industry will not pay $5,000 per month for a retainer service, or you believe that the market is too competitive to even consider doing that, or you believe no one in your niche is buying offers at that level, after 7 years in the high ticket online space in serving service industries, I'm here to tell you that's probably not that true. I've watched agency owners, consultants, coaches, service providers, and experts in all sort of like really weird niches convince themselves that the reason that they can't charge $5,000 per month is because of their market specifically, when in reality, it is one of 3 specific things that I've come up and seen against anyway. Number one is they don't usually understand how sophisticated buyers actually buy. Number 2 is they don't know how to create demand for a premium service. And number 3, they built a sales process that entirely depends on them being involved. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to package up a $5,000 per month service and offer that someone would buy recurringly month in, month out, how to create true demand for it through a combination of paid advertising content, and a good sales process, and then how to build the sales process so your team can get in there and sell this without you needing to be involved in every step of the way. And if you're new here, my name is Chris. I have solely committed my life to helping founders who are done playing small get their fucking edge back, build and scale businesses with a team that are behind them, and create a company that does not depend on them for every step of the fucking outcome, help them build a 7 or multiple 7 or in some cases 8-figure business. And today I'm going to show you how to do at least the first part of it, which is have an offer that sells like fucking hotcakes at a price point you actually want to sell it at. So if you're trying to sell, some good 5K per month offers, right? One of the first things you need to be aware of, and the first big idea of what you need to take away from this, is that sophisticated buyers buy entirely differently to the normal buyer that you normally want to work with. And I think one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people make is that they think that, or they make the assumption that the people who would pay 5K per month think the exact same way as your average normal person who clicks on an ad, right? Who's sitting there with shoes on the fucking couch clicking on an ad, hoping that you can save their business. Like, they do not think the same way. Sophisticated buyers are built entirely differently. They've already worked with someone like you. They've worked with agencies. They've worked with consultants. They've done coaching. They've already been burnt, right? They've already probably spent upwards of 6 figures working or trying to solve the problems that they would hopefully work on or hopefully get solved with someone just like you. And in many cases, they've been burnt multiple times, not just once, right? So they don't necessarily care what you have to say. They only really care about what's different and whether you are worth fucking listening to or not. These are the things that if you talk about, if you are talking about in your marketing or if you talk about in your offers, that will absolutely push them away, right? Because they've been sold leads, they've been sold appointments, they've been sold funnels, they've been sold ads, they've been sold the websites, they've been sold coaching, they've been sold everything that you already know, that you've probably done as well, that you already have spoken to your best clients about, where they've come to you and said, like, I've done all this. How are you different? Why the fuck would I listen to you fundamentally, if that makes sense, right? And the sophisticated buyers that you fundamentally want to work with, the ones that will pay you $4, $5, $6, $7, $8,000 per month, are not caring about that in any way, shape, and form. Now, the interesting thing is that all the things that you would do for them will still actually include the leads, appointments, funnels, ads, websites, coaching, consulting, whatever the fuck it is that you're currently doing. But the way that you package it up must give them what they're actually purchasing, which is certainty, leverage, speed, status, the next level. They want to become something. They don't want to just buy a service. If you think about what they're thinking about when they're laying in bed or when they're in their own team meetings or when they're looking at different ads that come up or the YouTube videos they're watching or the podcast they're listening to, whatever else that it is, they're not looking to just get leads, appointments, ads, funnels, all that shit in place. Most of these guys already have that. They might even have a team in place. They're already doing that. They're thinking about what the fuck is going to have to happen for me to have to break through? What the fuck is going to have to happen for me to get to the next level? Why am I still stuck at this current stage when I've put all this effort, energy, and time in that if I just fucking knew, I'd be so much better off. I'd be so much happier and I feel like I'd be back in control again, feel like I'd be in demand again and feel like I don't have to deal with this bullshit fuckery like everyone else is right now. Like, that's what they're really thinking about behind this. And if we can give them that certainty that we can get them to the next level and help them unpack that status they're looking to achieve and give them the speed and certainty to be able to do so if they were to work with me, they will not look at you as someone worth working with. Some examples of this too, right, are like, if your client right now is currently a 7-figure contractor, They want to know that if they work with you, that they can become an 8-figure contractor. Or if someone's currently at 10 grand a month, they want to know that if they work with you, that you have systems, procedures, experience, and your goal is to help them hit 100 grand a month. And they're really clear on that being something that you are making a priority, not just them, because they want to feel safe. They're going to want to feel certain that you are not just trying to get them opportunities, that you are not just trying to, help their team, but you're not just trying to help these things, but your end goal for them is to help them get to the place that they already are internally wishing, hoping, and waiting to achieve. And if you don't naturally create an environment where it shows them a map and a pathway to achieve that end outcome that they're already actually thinking about behind the scenes, again, they will overlook you in the first place. So everything you do must show them. If this is state one, so where they currently are, so your ideal client might be at 7 figures and you want to help them get to 8 figures by running ads for them, or by helping build their team, or by building operational infrastructure, or whatever else is behind the scenes, they're going to want to know that you are someone that is a worthy growth partner for them to work with, because they can see that you have a map that gets them from 7 to 8 figures, and it shows them it might be 6 steps, it might be 8 steps, but it's like, first we work on this, then 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 we work on this. This is phase 1, this is phase 2, this is phase 3. And these are the 3 phases that we need to go across the next 18 months to be able to take you from 7 to 8 figures. This is the advertising, the systems, procedures, and this is the team required to be able to do it. And if you pay me to be able to help you do this, you'll end up in a place where we give you the certainty that you can unlock the next level and status that you're actually wanting to, achieve as a consequence of working with your next provider to be able to do this. The other guys are still going to help you get fucking leads, appointments, and funnels, but none of them have the context, the commitment, and the desire to actually sit with you through the hard times to be able to help you unlock the next level and actually understand what game we're actually playing here behind the scenes is. So does what we need to do change? Not really. We're still doing a lot of the leads, appointments, funnel stuff, but we need to have a customer journey map that takes them from current state to future state. And we need to be aware of the actual journey they're trying to go on, the behind the scenes, the things they're actually going to need as a consequence of being able to do that. This is an example of a journey map that we create for our clients when they work with us. This is one from a client of mine named Brad. He came in to work with us, wanted to work with roofers who were currently making about $1 million a year or thereabouts, maybe $1 to $5 million a year. And the end outcome was to help these guys get to a point where they would actually sell a roof a day, right? Through their team, through the systems they're in place, and through everything to being able to create the roof a day. And we called it the roof a day roofing system, right? And this is the map that we created. We call it the offer linking map. It's one of our primary, proprietary mechanisms that we use to help increase the certainty for someone that comes to work with us. We reverse engineer the exact ideal client you want showing up on a sales call. We break down exactly where they're at, exactly where you want them to be, and exactly what 3 major mechanisms or 3 main reasons they aren't currently there right now. So you can actually have a really clear marketing methodology and system to be able to show and showcase these people what it looks like to be able to achieve that end outcome. It's one of the first things to do with every single client. Because if we get this right, this map here, this visual representation of the journey to be able to get someone from current situation to goals, then becomes the actual customer journey, the actual customer journey map that we put together. It becomes your ads, it becomes your email sequences, it becomes your VSL, it becomes any content you create. It all comes back to the offer linking map, and the offer linking map creates the certainty that your ideal client actually needs. And if we help you create something like this, then when someone looks at this, when we create YouTube videos like this, or we create the pre-call offer document asset that someone might need to be able to actually understand and fucking see the magic you can bring to them from the end result outcome that you want to achieve with them, the new level unlocked, the new status that they get to become as a consequence of working with you. People look at your stuff and go, oh my God, you are exceptionally fucking different to everyone else. It is crazy that people aren't working with you over these fucking idiots who are just peddling leads right now. A really good example of is a client of mine, Kevin, who's been with me about 4 weeks right now. This is a text that he sent us a couple of weeks back saying, I just closed my first 5K per month consulting package. He went with the 16-week jumpstart. And how this came about was when Kevin came to me, he was positioned as I help contractors get leads with LSA ads, essentially, right? No one was even considering talking to him or considering the idea of paying, $5 grand a month. No one was considering anything other than paying like $997 per month just to get the ads done more than anything else. And he was struggling not only to just get opportunities, but he was still struggling for people to actually pay him at that fucking $997 in the first place. And I'd taken this sales call myself. And as I was on the call with him, like, I was chatting with him about him and his past experience. And he told me that in his past experience, prior to owning the agency, he ran a solar company that he got to 8 figures. He'd also helped grow 2 other service-based contracting companies, one in the solar space, and I think the other one was in like lawn care or something to the effect of that, to like 3 and 5 million. I was like, hey, do you realize that behind the scenes that you are exactly what your ideal client would want to be? And do you realize that behind the scenes, if people knew who you actually were, that there is a higher probability that not only they'd want to pay with you not only would they want to work with you just because, that there is extra certainty and extra experience behind that, but they would also pay for your knowledge behind that too. Like, because if I asked you correctly, when you're doing these LSA ads, is this fundamentally the exact same thing you were doing to help your company get to 8 figures? He's like, yeah. I'm like, whoa, let me ask another question. When you're speaking to possible prospects, do you tell them that on the sales call? He's like, yeah. I'm like, is that the reason they buy? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, why the fuck don't we bring that to the front of your marketing, right? And that's where the $10 million marketing system, and we created something for him called the 8-figure exit plan to be able to bring people into his world. Now he has the 8-figure contractor accelerator and the 8-figure exit plan, which fundamentally at its core is him doing LSA ads, but sharing exactly how he had achieved the end result of the 8-figure exit with these guys. And now the perceived certainty or the actual certainty these guys have as a consequence of working with him is just huge in difference, right? Like, same service, different positioning, a buyer who actually wants the outcome with different demand. And within 14 days of actually making the shift, he had his first $5K per month consulting package, consulting plus the list and everything else associated to that. The lesson here for me was that people don't buy what you do. They buy the outcome. They buy the outcome of what it is that you are actually trying to help them achieve. And they buy who they get to become as a consequence of that, not just the service that you're trying to actually peddle to them in the first place. And if your offer isn't attached to a transformation specifically, that's where you're going to struggle. Now, for a lot of guys who say, like, I myself wasn't an 8-figure contractor in the past, you don't necessarily need to be. All you need to do is you need to be so studied. You need to be hanging out with these people. You need to get your own experience, even if you're borrowing other people's experience, to be able to understand what that journey map would look like. You need to be able to understand from the intricacies of what's going on behind the scenes for those people, for them to be able to look at you and have that foresight. You need to study what it takes to go from 7 to 8 figures. You need to study all these different things, because what I notice happens more often than not is on a call with the client, even a $997 client or a $2K per month client, you guys are usually doing free consulting anyway. You're just getting paid for it at the package price that you actually deserve to get paid for it for. And as a consequence of that, you kind of resent the people you work with. You can be charging more, and you gaslit yourself into believing that you can't actually achieve those prices or whatever else that is. And you don't necessarily have to personally achieve the 8-figure result yourself, or the, insert result factor that you're trying to communicate, that if they purchase from you, that they get to unlock the identity or next level as a consequence of working with you. And basically, you just need to be an expert in how the fuck people get there. You need to be so studied in it. You need to be the one with the network of people that you've built over time, where they will fundamentally see that and see that you have that insight that they can lean on at any point in time, where you can ask someone at any point in time for those different things, which doesn't change the job. It doesn't change what you're doing. You're already consulting. You're already doing these things. You're just not getting fucking paid for it. And that's the thing you're coming up against. It's fucking you, right? And the second you do that and you change that around and you have something like myself coming and help you, you can see the difference. Like Kevin had that happen immediately, right? Another client here, $5,200 per month client. This is Josh. Josh recently started with us. He's been with us about a month and a half. This is the second or third one that I know that he's received. He wasn't charging any more than, $2,000 per client product. So if you reposition yourself effectively and do it properly, the probability of these people looking at you as someone who can help them achieve that, because you have both these. You don't just have the, done for you stuff they're looking for, but it's a combination of done for you plus the certainty in outcome that you're trying to experience and perceive there. It will help you achieve this. Now, for any of you that might be thinking like, oh, but I don't have that, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to be a consultant. You're already fucking doing it. You're already fucking, like, if you are good and you actually care about your clients behind the scenes, you're already doing it right now. You're just not getting paid for it. Grow the fuck up. Stop being scared of putting your balls to the line and saying that I'll help you achieve this, and receive the experience, receive the feedback, and take the responsibility of showing them what it looks like to get there and doing the study and making yourself more valuable as a consequence of that. One of the things we do behind the scenes with our clients is we actually do hot seats with people that are doing 7 or 8 figures, and we do hot seats with clients that currently have these offers behind the scenes with people who are doing 7 or 8 figures, building offers like this behind the scenes for people who are helping clients get to 7 or 8 figures or whatever, big end outcome. So you can see the behind the scenes, what it looks like and what they're actually doing, because it's not that fucking crazy to be able to do so. A good example of this is a hot seat that we have coming up in, I think it's 2 days, with a client of mine named Tyler Hoyt, who helps contractors hit, I think it's 3 million right now behind the scenes. He's never owned a contracting business himself, but he's been selling to contractors for years and has done enough networking and enough contextual past experience-based stuff and worked with enough people who have achieved those numbers to be able to really confidently communicate, this is what we can help you get. And on, I think it's Wednesday morning, we're doing a hot seat with him on how he hit $1 million in the agency, bought his wife the dream house that they were actually looking to, that they've already purchased it, but they're living in now, all while being a school basketball coach at the same time. So if you were to work with us, you get to see behind the scenes of what it looks like to actually do this, and you don't have to try and figure it out yourself, is kind of the promise I'm making you as a consequence of that too. Big idea number 2 here for me is that demand is created way before the call is ever meant to have happened, right? My favorite funnel in the world, no matter what anyone says, is still the lead magnet funnel, right? I love it. I don't care what anyone says. And I think I love it because it helps you create intentional demand whenever the fuck you want for the end outcome that you want the person coming in for them to be able to see what it is you can do for them, where you want to take them when they work with you. And again, I think that demand is one of the most misunderstood things in business in particular. I think most people think that demand comes from ads, content, clever copy, when in reality, I think for me, I think demand comes from certainty and comes from proof in particular. And proof is probably the biggest demand lever that I've seen. People don't buy because of claims. They buy because they believe that if you were to work with them, or if they were to work with you, that they believe they'd be able to get to the end result that they want to get to. So your entire marketing process has to be revolving around helping them believe that they should work with you fundamentally, right? And the reason that I love the lead magnet funnel specifically is because the second that they opt into you, you have the option of helping them think, or like you have the option to help them think the way you want them to think or not, right? And you have 2 choices as to how you do that. You either have them think about shitty options, right? Like leads, appointment funnels, or you help them think about the next level fundamentally, right? Now, for years, right, I have run a 50K playbook funnel, and maybe you have downloaded my 50K playbook. Maybe you've downloaded my figure playbook, right? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I'm not entirely sure. Many of you have, about 5,000 of you have. So I know that the people who have come through this have all said to me, Chris, this is fucking amazing. It actually shows you through the breakdown of what it takes to be able to achieve the outcome. I've got the 7-figure playbook as well. And it's not AI slot. It's actually showing you the play-by-play on how to get there, like what the offer looks like, how to get 5 to 10 clients quick, the lead gen playbook, daily sales system, 7-figure sale, 7-figure team system. There's an offer template. There's MRR offer examples. There's a mindset mastery playbook. There's a pipeline playbook to be able to get money straight away right now. There's a mini course inside it that communicates how to be able to make your team work without you being there and everything else as well. Then a bunch of success stories and obviously an offer inside to ask if someone wants help as well. But the idea is that it's fucking great. And the people who come in for this, we have 3 things that are true. And I'm not going to share exactly what they are, but it's fucking cool hacks to be able to make sure that they're qualified leads coming in specifically and never wasting a cent on people who are the wrong fit because I still need to save stuff for my ideal clients who actually want to pay me money. And, we have stuff behind the scenes and I'm not going to show you on fucking YouTube. But the lead magnet funnel, someone comes in and they've told me they want to get to the end outcome that we want to take them to. And then they give me their details and I already know that they're qualified. Now my list is being built. My social media is being built. My DMs are filled with that we want to take them to, right? So like every time a client comes to work with us, within the first 4 weeks of working with us, right? Like week 1 is mapping out what this looks like for you, like redefining the person, breaking this down. Week 2 is breaking down what your actual offer looks like and what your version of this would be for you. Week 3, we're getting the ads up. And week 4, you've got daily new conversations coming with new people every single fucking day, right? So with Kevin, the guy I communicated before, we put together an 8-figure exit playbook and it fucking cranks, right? Guys getting leads daily at the moment, if that makes sense. With Brad, this guy, we had a roof a day playbook and he ended up having the low ticket offer for it that we rebranded and ended up getting way better quality people coming through as a consequence of that, right? But when your thing shows them the end outcome as they opt in and they're opting in to get something that helps them see what it takes to be able to achieve that end outcome, now it's very easy for us to have a conversation with that person about, hey, you know how you wanted to get to that end outcome? How come you aren't currently there right now, right? And it's really easy, right? My positioning for everyone is like, if you come to me, you are coming to me because you are done playing small. You want to get your edge back. You want to build a team. You want to scale without becoming the fucking bottleneck again. Every piece of content reinforces that, right? So if you ever get into the DMs with us, if we're talking to you, like I'm talking to you, I'm in my DMs, right? I'm talking to you, about like why you aren't currently at 50 or 100 or 300K per month right now, whatever it is you opted in for in the first place. And then I'm making sure that everything we send to you just reinforces the proof and ability to believe that we can help you get there, right? Like this video would be a great example. It's a YouTube video. We have everything on my Instagram. Emails you receive from me will reinforce the belief that we can help you achieve those goals and we know what it looks like behind the scenes to actually achieve the solution to the problem actually being executed on in a way that you can see what it looks like, right? Proof point number 1 for someone to believe when they come in this, like when they work with me, is like the second that they actually download this, there is proof in here that we know what we're talking about. There is proof that we have the systems available to be able to do this. And there's proof in this that shows them that if they were to work with us, that we know what the fuck we're talking about, that I know what the fuck I'm talking about, that you have a high probability of certainty that you would be able to get the result that you want. We want to do the same with you. The second level of proof is that every fucking thing you see from me inside content will have proof in it. In this video alone, you've probably seen 6 or 7 different examples of proof of things that have worked, and I've shown you behind the scenes. So there's proof of system, proof of behind the scenes, proof of actual client results, proof of my own ability to be able to communicate how it would work for you as well, which increases your own certainty, all coming in based off an outcome that you want. This video was and is labeled as how to build demand for a 5K per month offer that sells without you, right? That's an outcome and end outcome that you wanted, repackaged in a way that helps you see and perceive and believe that. Our job is to help you come up with what those content pieces are and what those things are to be able to continue to constantly reignite that proof and that belief within these people, get them into your DMs, and then get them, like by asking the right questions, get them to an application to be able to do that, right? And by doing this, we are constantly rebuilding the demand for what you do, because prior to a call, we'll send them stuff like a video or a document of some sort that shows them exactly what you do, how you do it, you get the results and everything else associated to that. Inside the playbook, it will show them what you do, how you do it, and everything else associated to that. Inside the content, it will show you what you do, how you do it, and everything else associated to that. Then we come up with retargeting ads that are $1 per day objection killing ads to kill every fucking little thing that they have, that they say, that they have in their head that would stop them from wanting to work with you. And then direct offers that are retargeting ads from the people who have been inside your DMs to go straight back to an application. And the whole idea is that every single thing that they see, every lead magnet, every email, every content piece has proof in it. The email sequence has proof in it. The lead magnet has proof in it. The retargeting has proof in it. The pre-call content sequence has proof in it. The application ads themselves have proof in it. Everything you do, every step you have, everything that they see increases the certainty that you can help them achieve the end outcome that we spoke about here before, which only makes it extremely hard for them to even give you anything other than their time and attention toward wanting to understand more about how you can help them achieve the same result, when every other idiot out there is just telling them how to get fucking leads. When someone enters your world already wanting the end outcome that your offer can help them achieve, you've won half the fucking battle already. And we want to make sure that from the second they enter your funnel and the second they see your content, that is building demand from the top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, and then the sales process itself is purely built around demand creation. Now, this is where I think most people screw it up. Even if they create demand, they still end up being the bottleneck themselves. Which brings me to my third point, which is build a sales process that does not depend on you specifically, right? I think a lot of people make this mistake. And earlier this month, we rolled out a system for our clients that I built called Layups, get layup sales calls every single day, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the purpose of it, it's like, how do we create sales calls that feel like layups for people fundamentally? And after years of having sales teams and building sales teams for people behind the scenes, the biggest thing that had to be true was like, there needed to be a sales process that anyone could run, whether they were present or not, fundamentally. Not maybe, not sort of, actually, right? Like something that was actually simple, where a lead comes in, an aesthetic can identify who it actually is, and a aesthetic can confirm agency, aesthetic can confirm desire, aesthetic can confirm capacity. And then before the sales call, we have what we call like layup conversion content, which is where we get people to do like videos, case studies, documents, proof assets, designing specifically an answer to the questions that these people would fundamentally have before sales calls. We want to remove objection before the sales call. We want to build certainty before the call, so that by the time they actually show up, the closer isn't having to create belief. The belief is already installed, and we're just actually having a conversation about what it looks like to actually help someone get the results we're actually looking for. They're confirming the belief, and we're actually giving them the result that they want at the end of the day, right? So how that fundamentally looks is like, we come back here to the, where was it? The process here. They opt in, we're in the DMs, and then there's an application that they might fill. But we have in the DMs, we're looking to qualify that they have a goal, a gap, and that they're open to help. We then, prior to an active triage call, we would actually send someone a pre-selling document, right? Like something that explains who you work with, how you help, what the methodology actually is, what the deliverables are, proof, pricing ranges, FAQs, and everything before the triage call. So that whoever takes the triage call, whether it's a setter or whether, in some cases you might not need it, but for most people I would suggest that you do have one, they already have everything. And you're just confirming the fit and what the 4 blockers are to even being able to get the result that you want, which is solution, that it's the right fit, timing, partner, money, all the good things associated to that as well. And then we send them more content prior to a sales call to make sure that they're actually like educated on our offer, what we do, how they do it, and everything else too, so that they aren't actually aware of what that looks like, so that they aren't having to show up to a sales call asking what we do, how we do it, or what it looks like, or what the results look like, or what our system looks like, or what the behind the scenes looks like. They already know all that stuff, right? And then prior to that show up, before they show up to the sales call, we have the setter actually asking, like, what is it? Sorry, did you go through the stuff? And if you did, right, like, are you leaning in, leaning out, or somewhere in the middle to working with us already? So that by the time someone actually get there, you already know whether they want to work with you or not. You already know whether they want to become a client or not. You already know whether they want to actually, want to pay you money, if that makes sense, right? So the call becomes way more about how do I actually work with you versus there needing to be magic. You don't need to be in the process in this scenario. If we do our job correctly when we work with you, this, and we install the layup sales process part here, right? Like this here, the pre-call document and the pre-call document, the pre-triage document, pre-sales call education, effectively, and the closeout, if you have one on board, doing the job effectively, turns into a world where we are confirming that they're the right fit and then asking them to get started, as opposed to it needing to be you re-communicate who you are, what you do, how you do it, and everything else that might fucking, ruin you on sales calls and decrease your close rate and make people want to think about it or have to think about it, because you've just given them all this information that ruins your ability to be able to collect cash on that call right there and then, or have your team collect cash on the call right there and then, which is one of the things we're talking about in Tyler's hot seat here, right? the hot set we have coming up in a couple of days, we ended up reverse engineering all that stuff, installing the layups process, and then building a team around him to be able to actually set up calls and close calls. Sorry, he's still closing right now, or in the process of getting him out of that. But he sets up layup sales calls based on the process that's currently there. And he's probably a month or two away from being out of sales entirely too, even after having already been out of delivery, out of setting, and fundamentally only working on the marketing and working with the team to be able to actually generate the opportunities and create the layup sales calls that he hops on and sells. That took him from the 10K per month that he started with on to the $1 million that he's at right now, which is fucking awesome if you ask. And the difference between having a process like this in place and not is most founders that, or CEOs or owners of the company, actually are the sales process. They themselves are the sales process. They themselves are the education base. They themselves are the reason why someone will or won't buy. If you have a good sales process in place, though, they will buy whether you were fucking present or not, as long as they are clear on what it looks like, how it all actually works, and they have someone that is actually there and able to walk them through that. It doesn't need to be you anymore. Your magic doesn't need to be there anymore, because the magic was installed into the sales process that no longer depends on you. And that's when you become dangerous again. Because eventually, if you don't have this, you end up burning out, growth stalls, revenue becomes emotional, the team can't scale. And the goal is transferable trust, right? Because the content and the process can create transferable trust, which is what real businesses actually have. Instead of you having to be a magician on fucking sales calls, this is how you build something that sells these 5K per month offers without you needing to be there at all. So if I were to recap and I were to build a 5K per month offer from scratch today, I would firstly realize that sophisticated buyers buy differently than everyone else. So we need to be talking about an outcome-based offer. Number two is I would be focusing on building proof-based demand consistently before the sales conversation ever happens, from the second that they opt in through to the second that they sign up for a sales call. And then the last thing is build a sales process that does not depend on you in particular, by having them go through a process that educates them on everything that they would need to know about working with you and all the things that would kill the main objections they currently have before they even get to you. So the conversation gets to a point where you are talking about how to apply that and execute with them as a growth partner for the result that they want to achieve, end result, and pay you the money you're actually worth getting paid for. Because the goal is not getting better at convincing people. The goal is getting better at creating enough certainty before the call that buying feels fucking obvious. So if you would like some help implementing this into your business, send me the word layups on Instagram. Like, open Instagram up, the link will be below to do so, and send me the word layups on Instagram, and I'll send you the information on how we build demand, how we create buyer-ready sales calls, how we help clients implement these systems, and how we've helped businesses do this exactly like this without becoming the bottleneck and without being dependent on the founder themselves. And I'll see you in the next video either way.